Hey, what is going on, everybody? I am back and better than ever, and maybe I even sound better. That's the thing. I want you guys to let me know in the comments here. Let me know if I sound better. Took a couple days off there, had a little bit of some other work I had to take care of, and I got a new microphone. So yeah, it's some new hotness here. Let me know if that sounds better on your end. I've been messing around with it, and the other microphone was picking up way too much background noise, and honestly didn't like it that much, but it's what I had. And hey, I decided to upgrade myself. You know, I guess say treat yourself, and I got a new microphone. So let me know in the comments if I'm sounding better. I want to know what you think. And on tonight's show, I am enjoying some champagne because why not? Not really celebrating anything or nothing special going on, but hey, yeah, the bubbly is the bubbling, so why not break it out? Lots of stuff to talk about on today's show, so let's jump right into it. And the main thing right off the top here is there's an interesting story here. Do you know where Kyle Rittenhouse is? Do you know where Kyle Rittenhouse is? Has anyone actually seen Kyle? Well, if you have, the police would like a little word with you. So, according to police accounts, Wisconsin prosecutors filed a motion Wednesday requesting an arrest warrant and a bond increase for Kyle Rittenhouse, the teenager charged with killing two people during the protests in Kenosha last summer. So, if you have no idea who Kyle Rittenhouse is, let me refresh your memory.
People are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is to also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way.
Hey, he just shot them! Hey, dude right here just shot them!
Keep in mind, he's a 17-year-old, and it's not his job to do anything. But anyway, again, if you have completely forgotten about this story, here's a quick little update. The 17-year-old somehow got an assault rifle, somehow. He got a ride from his mom down to a protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin, after the shooting of Jacob Blake. Great parenting, by the way, to bring your 17-year-old kid down there. And then he got into some kind of an altercation and shot and killed somebody. Not sure who started it. There's different accounts there, but someone did die. Then, when he tried to run away, he shot more people and killed someone else as well. And when it was all said and done, he walked by the police, arms raised, and went home. Hey, what can I say, right? To be white in America, you can do whatever you want. Well, his mom raised $2 million to get him out of jail on bond, including some cash from the Mike Pillow guy. He's probably going to need some of that cash back because dude's probably hurting after he got pulled off the shelves there. But anyway, Rittenhouse was released. And now he is not where he is supposed to be. The court tried to send a hearing notice to Rittenhouse's house, but apparently he wasn't there. Now, Kenosha detectives have said that they went to his apartment, the apartment Rittenhouse listed as his address, and the man who was at that address said he had rented the apartment since December 15th, and Rittenhouse no longer lived there. Prosecutors say Rittenhouse failed to correct the address on a document signed January 22nd. And so the question is, where is Rittenhouse now? Well, if you listen to his attorney, he is supposedly at some sort of a safe house. His attorney said he had moved Kyle to a safe house after his family got threats, but wouldn't provide that address to prosecutors. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. So prosecutors didn't take that deal because, again, Rittenhouse is wanted for first-degree murder. He can't just do whatever the hell he wants to. And so, but Kyle's Rittenhouse's attorney did it anyway. And so now he's facing a warrant for his arrest and a $200,000 increase to his bond. And so if you've seen Kyle out there, you might want to let police know. But if you are looking for Kyle, if you're hunting the streets looking for him, maybe try a bar. Apparently, the 17-year-old likes to get his drink on with the Proud Boys. He also likes to wear shirts that say "free as fuck." Very, very classy there. And also, you can keep an eye out. Supposedly, he does like to flash the 3%ers hand signal. If you see someone doing that in the bar and they look a little underage, that might be Kyle. But hey, maybe it's not a good idea to go hit up a bar when you're underage and facing life in prison. But hey, who am I to judge? Kyle, drink up while you can, because you might be going to prison for a very, very long time. So enjoy that bubbly while you can there, buddy. Hi, what a nice night out there in DC. Taking a live little look at that camera. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse, he may be in a little bit of trouble. Kind of surprised that he's out running the streets, but hey, it is what it is, right? So as we move on to our next little story here, kind of switching gears just a little bit, but if you haven't already, do me a favor, like the show. Definitely appreciate it. We're up to over 300 subscribers now, so subscribe when you can. Leave me a comment and let me know what you're thinking. So as you've probably heard, Amazon CEO and real life bad guy Jeff Bezos is stepping down as the CEO of Amazon. And it happened on the same day that the tech giant agreed to pay $61 million for stealing from their own employees. And just a couple weeks after losing the coveted title of world's richest man. So I'm horrible. So I'm horrible. I buy stuff from Amazon all the time. It's just too easy. I mean, I get it's not the greatest thing to do sometimes. Support your local businesses, but it is way too easy. But I've never heard of Amazon Flex. But it's like Uber, but for packages. Essentially, you sign up with Amazon and then choose when you get to deliver stuff, and you go deliver it ASAP, which is actually pretty cool. I'm always running out of stuff. I'm always needing something like my little studio here. Every once in a while, if a light breaks or you need batteries, nice to just have someone bring it to you. What can I say? In America, there's no such thing as too lazy. But hey, it is what it is. But to be honest, this is pretty cool. What's not cool is that if you tipped your driver, Amazon stole it for themselves, apparently. Apparently, Amazon has agreed to pay $61 million for stealing tips. According to Vice, to quote their article here, today the Federal Trade Commission is sanctioning Amazon.com for expanding its business empire by cheating its workers. That's according to FTC Commissioner Rohit Chopra. Amazon stole nearly 1/3 of their drivers' tips to pad its own bottom line. Wow, so Jeff Bezos, who is now the second richest person in the world, really needs those tips. But hey, I guess yachts don't pay for themselves, right? So it is what it is. But the thing is, Bezos is not actually leaving Amazon. He's just moving to the board, as rich people do. He says he's leaving to take on other projects like Blue Origin. Now, you might be wondering, what is Blue Origin? You've never heard about it before. If you know that it is a rocket company, you know that why is he trying to take on Elon Musk at his own thing? I guess that's what multi-billionaires do. They make their own space companies. You also might be wondering, why is the rocket that Blue Origin uses shaped like a penis? I'm sure there's a scientific reason for that, but I'd like to meet whoever drew up the blueprint of this rocket and was like, you know what? That's the one. That's the one right there. But honestly, this big move by Bezos makes me think I've been wrong about him the whole time. Even though he looks like a James Bond villain, he's really Dr. Evil from Austin Powers.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant dick.
Right. You know, the next thing you know, Bezos is going to start losing his hair and get sharks with laser beams on him. Could happen. You never know. Anyways, I would like to say more about this, but I'll be honest, I don't want to get blacklisted by Amazon. I use them a lot, and I need that Prime. I really like watching The Boys. But yes, bye-bye Jeff Bezos. Again, he's not going anywhere at Amazon. If anything, he'll just basically get more power without any of the media scrutiny. But I'll definitely be around to tell you about any other James Bondish or Austin Powers-like evil things that he does in the future. So if you are joining me on the show, do me a favor. Go ahead and leave me a comment there. Right now I'm just talking to myself. There's not a whole lot of folks on. It is midnight. It's a little late. Been trying to go on earlier, but hey, I got other work to do. Hard to sometimes do this consistent YouTube thing. But if you're watching now, do me a favor. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about all this kind of stuff. Oop. Messed up my script there. So as we do move on, there's some international news to talk about, but I'll have a nice little drink before I get into that. And again, if you haven't already, subscribe and like the show. Very much appreciated. So the Proud Boys are now the Sad Boys. It's such an easy joke to make, I just had to make it. Couldn't come up with anything else. What you gonna do? But they have been added to the terrorist watch list in Canada, which makes sense because Canadians are known for being real nice and polite, and the Proud Boys are just a little bit different. Oop, my butt. Button's not working. Live YouTube. What you gonna do there, right? So at first, this might seem like a little bit much, right? I mean, the Proud Boys, a terrorist organization, a terrorist group like Al Qaeda? Well, personally, I used to think the Proud Boys were just a bunch of punks who like to show up and fight Black Lives Matter protesters. Because, hey, they've got nothing better to do, right? I mean, again, these guys are saying Black Lives Matter. Not saying better, not saying more than. They're just saying matter, and apparently these guys got a problem with that. And you probably first heard of the Proud Boys back when Donald Trump said this.
Supremacists and white supremacists and right Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Yeah, I don't know if any of Trump's impeachment lawyers are watching, but that could be a problem for you. Just a little tiny little problem there. So with the Proud Boys, what they really are is a racist, sexist, xenophobic group of misogynistic pricks who hate anyone that doesn't look like them. They're just basically a bunch of haters around the whole, the changing of society. They want to turn the clock back when it was just men running stuff, specifically white men, but don't tell their leader there, Ernesto, that it might not look, things might not go so well for everybody if the Proud Boys do get their mission of turning the clocks back on everyone. So essentially, just think of the Proud Boys as a guy, you might know a guy who can't find a girlfriend, and he thinks the girls are the problem, not him. That is your quintessential Proud Boy. But hey, there's nothing like a little storm in the Capitol to get you labeled as a terrorist organization. Yeah, they were really on standby. So what does this actually mean, right? What does this actually mean for the Proud Boys themselves? Well, let's take a look. Well, according to the Associated Press, right, basically they are going to, again, be labeled as a terrorist entity in Canada. And so the next time you feel like, feel like fighting some protesters or something, or destroying something north of the border if you're a Proud Boy, well, you can now be charged as a terrorist and face all the crimes that come associated with that, all the enhanced charges that come with terrorism. Also, if you are a fan of the Proud Boys and wanted to send them a little care package, like maybe some soap, I mean, you take a look at some of these guys, and they could definitely use some soap or maybe some conditioner, something to trim that little beard up. Well, you can still do that, but hold off on sending them any money or buying any Proud Boy merch, like some of them cool shirts they're always wearing, because you could be charged with supporting terrorists. Now, again, the group's leader, Enrique Toro, there has called the designation ridiculous, saying all the Canadians have done is go to rallies. They haven't tried to overthrow their government yet. He also says this is censorship because I guess, that's the conservative answer for everything nowadays. If you don't like it, it's censorship. If they get shut down, it's censorship, which is just plain stupid. Free speech doesn't give you the right to storm the Capitol building. You're free to say and do whatever you want, but you're not free from consequences. So the big question all you guys are probably having was, will this designation as terrorist, will the same thing happen here in the United States? Well, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki will have to get back to you on that one.
Canada designated the Proud Boys as a terrorist organization, putting them alongside Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and Al-Shabaab. Does the U.S. plan to do the same?
We, of course, have a review underway, a domestic violent extremism, review that's underway by our national security team to take a look at violence and this type of concerning group activity across the country. I expect we will wait for that review to conclude before we make any determinations.
Isn't it nice to watch the press house secretary actually kind of sound more press secretary-like? I mean, a little less chaos going in there. Anyway, if I had to guess, I'd say the Proud Boys would be getting a new label here in the United States very, very soon. And what this really is Canada saying they are, moving on from MAGA or Trumpism. They're saying that is not something they are all about there in Canada. And if you've watched the news or anything after the Capitol storm, you've heard people talk about the rise of domestic terrorism. And apparently they do not want that north of the border. And the first way to actually, stop terrorists is by actually calling them terrorists in the first place. So I would imagine that the Proud Boys are going to get on a lot more watch lists, a lot more terrorist lists. And so if you are a member of the Proud Boys and you want to take a nice little vacation, not to DC, now is the time. And it's going to make recruiting for the Proud Boys much harder in the future now that people will know that they are joining again, terrorist organization in Canada. We'll still see if it comes to the U.S. Who knows? as we slide into the second half of the show here, if you are still joining me, hey, why don't you slide over to that subscribe button? Yeah, give it a little click. Check it on out. I'd appreciate it. Growing in subscribers, always a very good thing to do. Very happy about that. And I'd love it if you subscribe too, because I enjoy a little bit more of the bubbly. Yep. If I can finally get to that point of, you really want to get to the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube's part, and once I do that, I will definitely be breaking out more bubbly in the future, for sure. So, if you follow this story with the Capitol rioters and the QAnon shaman, you may be happy or mad to know that he is finally getting all his organic food after all. A federal judge has decided to has ruled that Jacob Anthony Chansley, also known as the QAnon shaman, who was charged with taking part in the deadly riots at the Capitol, will get organic food after his lawyer told the court that his client needed the special diet for religious and health reasons. Because of his, quote, shamanic belief system and way of life, eating food that isn't organic or has unnatural chemicals would cause his client, Jacob Chansley, systemic responses that are not simply discomforting, but debilitating and notably dehydrating. Well, hey, we wouldn't want him to get dehydrated in prison, right? This also comes after the woman who stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop and allegedly tried to sell it, supposedly, to Russia, was allowed to stay free after tampering with evidence. As I will pull up here for you in a moment, Riley Williams, the 22-year-old would-be laptop saleswoman, is having her internet cut after trying to delete her messages and telling others to do the same. Essentially, she tried to delete her messages, and the judge said, hey, don't worry about it. These things happen. You can stay free, just no internet. Wow. And Richard Barnett, you might recognize here, the guy who put his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk and stole some of her mail, was going to be released by a judge on bond, but another judge, a higher judge, decided to block that order, so he's still in jail, while for a time it looked like he was going to be released. And all of this is very strange to me. You know, these people stormed the U.S. Capitol, but they seem to have found some very, very nice judges, which is wild. I'm having a hard time understanding how that happened. You know, I thought terrorism was a very serious crime in America, and if Americans are anything, they're very, very tough on crime, right? I mean, America has some. We have more people in prisons than any other country in the world. This country takes crime seriously. Especially, like, here's what happens in America if you are caught using a fake, or allegedly using a fake $20 bill.
I can't breathe over there. Shut up. Don't kill me.
Or if you try to sell some loose cigarettes, again, allegedly, this is what will happen to you in the United States.
Please just leave me alone.
Watch as the two officers move in and try to physically arrest him. Garner seems to resist.
Don't touch me, please.
One of the officers puts his forearm around Garner's neck. As other officers join in, and within seconds, the 350-pound man is down.
America is so tough on crime. You can even get killed for walking in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, wearing the wrong kind of jacket.
First look at how that fateful night began for Trayvon Martin, buying Skittles and iced tea at the 7-Eleven.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
I just don't get what the difference is. Right? I just don't understand. I mean, look at this guy. He looks pretty scary looking to me. I mean, what is the difference? Oh, wait, I get it. Those other guys weren't terrorists, right? I mean, those other guys were accused of committing crimes. I mean, except for Trayvon there, who's just rocking in the wrong neighborhood. But those other guys maybe they were potential criminals, right? And these guys are terrorists. Totally different. So how does the United States treat their terrorists?
During his first 4 days in Abu Ghraib, Hajj Ali says he was deprived of food and water, beaten, and sexually assaulted with a rifle.
Huh. Well, it must be something else then. I don't know. I just can't seem to figure it out. I don't get it. I see her and I'm like, okay, well, she's been accused of committing a terrorist crime. And then I see him, he's selling cigarettes, and I can't understand the difference between these two people. I don't see it. Do you see it? Do you see what's going on? I mean, I don't know what the deal is. If maybe someone can comment, maybe help me understand what the difference is between all these folks, I'd appreciate it. That'd be a lot of help to me. What is the difference, or what difference do you see with all these folks? Well, hey, those Capitol stormers, the QAnon shaman, or not the QAnon shaman, but the laptop girl is joining a lot of other Capitol stormers who have been really freed and released on bond. I mean, could you imagine any other terrorists being freed on bond? You know, what a world, 2020. Things just keep getting crazier. And so U.S. and state capitals out there, beware, because, again, these people are back out on the streets. Who knows what they're going to do. But what you should do is do me a favor and subscribe to Citizen Pete. I'd very much appreciate it. I'll try to keep bringing more content like this in the future. But again, give me to subscribe, like, and yeah, leave me a note in the comments. I can't figure out what is the difference. Why are these people getting different treatment? It just doesn't make any sense. Welcome back to the show. So sorry if I'm sounding a little not as clear here. I've realized that I need to actually talk. So my other mic, it's a condenser mic, kind of picked up all the sound, which sometimes good, sometimes not good. I can kind of move my voice around a little bit without having going directly into the mic. But this one I'm realizing if I talk over here like this, not as good. This I have to be more into the mic, kind of eat the mic as they say. But hey, you know, we're just kind of moving along, learning things, checking things on out. And so far, a very, very fun show. So if you haven't heard, Liz Cheney is safe. Earlier tonight, Republicans met to discuss kicking her out of the party's leadership team for having the audacity to vote to impeach Trump. Also, today, the half of the Republicans apparently gave the QAnon Congresswoman Marjorie. Oops. Sorry. Actually, we're just gonna start this one over again. Sorry if you're watching live. There was a couple little mess ups there, some technical stuff, but we're gonna try it all again. So Liz Cheney is safe. Earlier tonight, Republicans met to discuss the possibility of kicking her out of the party's leadership team for having the audacity to vote to actually impeach Trump, their almighty ruler. Also tonight, apparently half of the Republicans in the House stood up and gave a standing ovation to the QAnon Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's according to this tweet from Cameron Joseph. No word on it was the full half of the Republicans there, and apparently she did make some sort of apology, who knows what, but yes, apparently she did get a standing ovation. So again, just to be clear, if you have the courage to stand up to the leader of your party, who helped lead an armed insurrection against the United States, had you all hiding at her desk and fearing for your lives, if you vote to impeach that person, you will be getting kicked out of your leadership position and potentially, losing your election back home by being primaried. But on the other hand, if you do crazy shit like, support killing Nancy Pelosi or former President, Barack Obama, or even claim that school shootings were actually staged by the Democrats so they could take away your gun rights. If you think that school shootings are really just staged events, then these are all, very, very good actors here who are just pretending to lose their family and friends. Also, the EMS people there who are pretending to take care of these survivors of the school shootings. If you do support that crazy, crazy theory, and hey, even if you attack one of these survivors on the street.
David, why are you supporting the red flag laws? If Scott Peterson, the resource officer at Parkland, had done his job, then Nicholas Cruz wouldn't have killed anybody in your high school, or at least protected them.
If you do all of that, you will apparently get a standing ovation from half the Republicans in the House. And again, yeah, she's attacking that, that kid on the street. That is David Hogg, who, I don't know how you feel about the Parkland shooting. I don't know what side of the aisle you're on, but it's kind of shit to attack someone who's a school shooting survivor and saying, oh, it's someone else's fault. Like, how are you going to question someone who survived a school shooting? What a crazy person. But I don't know what's crazier. Her crazy, ridiculous theories, or the fact that Republicans actually put her on an education committee. Makes no damn sense. And it really shows that we are living in two different Americas. And the GOP is in two different spots. It's sad, but it's true. Half the GOP in the country, views Liz Cheney as a hero who stood up for her country. The other half, they're following Marjorie Taylor Greene. And they're really looking at her as a hero for owning the libs, because that's what it's all about to them. All they care about is owning the libs, right? And so Democrats don't actually have the votes to kick Greene out of office, but what they can do is kick her off of that education committee, which again I'm very much hoping that they do. That would be let's definitely take her out of anything to do with education. And if my math is correct, we'll see. Before, I still have a lot of doubts that they would actually kick her out of Congress. I'm sure that's happened before in history, but not in recent history, so it'd be pretty unprecedented. But if they do, if it is true that half the Republicans got up and gave her a standing ovation, well, that means the other half didn't. And so the breakdown in Congress right now is there are 222, I believe, House Democrats. There's 211 House Republicans, right? And so if you split that in half, who knows? I wasn't in there counting the people that were standing up and cheering, but if you split that in half, that would potentially get you to that 2/3 majority that you would need to kick Greene out of Congress. And so my big takeaway from this story is that, hey, as shitty as it is that Liz Cheney has to apologize and Greene gets a standing ovation, maybe there actually might be more folks who want to kick her out than I previously thought. Now, who knows? Stay tuned and watch this space. All right, we're back for the last story of the show. No commenters today. I'm sad about that, man. I know it's a little late. I really need to start doing this more on a more consistent basis, because I'm like all over the place doing it. What can I say? Sometimes get real busy and stuff. Got a lot going on. But hey, I am back and ready than ever to keep rolling on with the show. Again, working on this mic, trying to get used to it. It's just different kind of talking. Like I feel like I'm talking like this the whole time. But hey, I'll get used to it. I need to tamp that cord down a little bit. That fix little things. But again, the last story of the night. And if you haven't already, do me a favor, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, and you might learn something, which is very important. That kind of goes into this next story here. So whenever I see MAGA morons or QAnon wackos, I'm always like, who raised you? But a better question would probably be, who taught you?
Or hurt things, or old middle class people get a bad rap. And they seem to be the ones that started the whole thing. So I was there. That's what I witnessed. That's what I saw. And I heard the media just blaming Trump supporters the whole time, and I knew then it was a setup.
That's that's middle school teacher Benjamin Plummer, or at least it was before that video came out, in Virginia, telling his students that the Capitol storming was actually a setup. His exact words there, I know the audio wasn't that great, but his exact words there was, "That's what I witnessed. That's what I saw. And I heard the media just blaming Trump supporters the whole time. And I know that it was a setup." You have the Trump supporters that were incredibly peaceful. They're all Christians. They believe in God. They're not there for damage or to hurt things. Yeah, a little strange. I don't know if it's public school if you can or can't mention God, but anyway, I guess what he is really saying is that all of these people, smashing windows, going through barricades, crushing cops, beating police officers with the American flag, chanting about hanging the vice president, and looking for the Speaker of the House, and even breaking into her office, and then making makeshift gallows outside, ready to hang people if they can find them. I guess all of those people were really just peaceful protesters. Crazy. Who knew, right? Now, if you look at the crowd, the folks who did storm the Capitol, there's all kinds of different people. People from all kinds of different walks of life. We've had off-duty police officers that have been arrested, state politicians who have been arrested and forced to give up their seats. We've had small business owners that have seen their businesses suffer, and apparently, we've also found teachers. Teachers were part of this crowd, and I guess supposedly it's not just this one. According to BuzzFeed, there's an article that there was another high school teacher in Wisconsin who's under investigation for telling his students that he was going to D.C. to, quote, defend election integrity. There's also a Florida substitute who was dismissed for telling the students the rioters were actually Antifa. Scary to see it if that actually makes it in the history books. There's also a Pennsylvania social studies teacher was suspended for pending investigation for attending the Trump rally before the Capitol attack and was saying on Facebook he was doing his civic duty. And lastly, there was a Cleveland school therapist who stormed the Capitol with a QAnon sign and then resigned in a letter saying she was switching careers to expose the evil of human trafficking and pedophilia before she was arrested by the FBI. Oops. So again, this teacher got caught. He said it on Zoom, which is real stupid, and should absolutely go on the highlight reel of dumb things that people have done on Zoom. But how many other teachers across the country are telling their students the election was rigged? How many people across the country are telling the students the exact same thing, and they're not saying it on Zoom? How many people are actually getting away with this? Who are telling them that Trump was actually the best president in American history? That the coronavirus is a liberal hoax? I mean, who knows? And it really gives a lot of meaning to that question. What did you learn in school today? Right? So, yeah, ask your kids, make sure they're not getting some crazy false information. Well, that's the show for today. Again, I'm interested to hear how this whole thing sounded. I mean, I'm listening to it the same time you are hearing it, and it sounds good to me. But just anytime you have a new piece of technology, it can always be a little bit tricky. So thanks for hanging there with me. I see you do have a couple people following the show. Yeah, I haven't seen no comments though. Leave me a comment if you're around. I'd appreciate it. And do me a favor and like and subscribe. Try to go more live during the daytime, but hey, work's gotta work. So anyway, but hey, again, thanks so much for watching the show. Have some champagne for me. Y'all take it easy. Yes. waiting for this button to press.